In the heart of the Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan, there is an open wound in the earth that has been burning non-stop for over half a century. Known as the Gate to Hell, the Darvaza crater is a 70-meter-wide abyss of fire where temperatures exceed 400 degrees Celsius, creating a glow that can be seen from space. What began as an industrial miscalculation has become a phenomenon that defies engineers and geologists. An eternal fire that consumes the very ground and refuses to be extinguished, regardless of what science tries to do. Before we understand what is truly fueling these flames and what scientists discovered when they descended inside, I want to welcome you to our channel. If you seek to uncover the most extreme places on the planet with depth and integrity, subscribe to Dead Zones. Every new explorer who joins us here strengthens our mission to explore what the world prefers to avoid. Imagine walking through a freezing desert at night and suddenly coming across a crater that roars like a jet engine, exhaling a heat that prevents any approach without special suits. This is not a natural volcano. It is a scar caused by human hands that opened a portal to an infinite gas reservoir. For decades, the government tried to ignore the problem, but the Gate to Hell has become a living reminder that sometimes nature does not accept being tamed. In this video, we go beyond the tourist images of dancing flames. I'm going to show you the science behind the error that created this place and the bizarre discovery made by an explorer who descended to the bottom of the crater. Something that proves life can thrive even in scenarios that most closely resemble the end of the world. Prepare to encounter the place where the Earth turned into eternal fire. The origin of the Darvaza crater dates back to 1971, during a Soviet drilling operation in search of oil. The ground, composed predominantly of limestone layers and natural gas pockets, could not support the weight of the drilling rig and collapsed, creating a giant cavern that began releasing methane at alarming rates. Fearing that the toxic gas would asphyxiate local populations and livestock, engineers decided to flare the gas, believing it would burn out in a few weeks. This was the greatest miscalculation in the history of gas exploration. The flames never went out, revealing that the gas pocket beneath the Karakum Desert is vast enough to fuel a fire for generations. From a chemical perspective, what keeps the Gate to Hell alive is a constant flow of thermogenic methane migrating from the depths through fissures in the collapsed ground. Unlike a common fire, where the fuel eventually runs out, here the ground is the fuel. The crater acts as a giant open-air natural gas burner, where the pressure from the underground reservoir ensures that surface oxygen never stops fueling the combustion. It is a thermodynamic feedback loop that transforms the site into a geological laboratory of energy waste on a monumental scale. In 2013, explorer George Karunis became the first person to descend to the bottom of the crater, equipped with a Kevlar suit and a self-contained breathing system. The goal was not just a record, but the collection of soil samples for astrobiology. What science learned from this mission was shocking. Even in the center of an eternal fire, in an environment rich in methane, and with nearly zero oxygen, extremophile bacteria were found that exist nowhere else on Earth's surface. These organisms eat the gas and reproduce in extreme heat, suggesting that life is much more resilient than the traditional biological model predicts. These discoveries at Darvaza have direct implications for the search for life on other planets. If bacteria can live comfortably at the bottom of a burning crater in Turkmenistan, the chances of finding life forms in the extreme environments of Venus or volcanic moons increase considerably. The Gate to Hell thus serves as a planetary analog, where scientists from NASA and other agencies study how biology behaves when pushed to the absolute limit of thermodynamics. It is life proving that hell is just another habitat. Despite its scientific value, the local government struggles to close the crater due to environmental impact and the waste of natural resources. However, extinguishing a fire of this magnitude is not just a matter of dumping dirt on top. The gas pressure would find new cracks to escape, potentially causing even larger explosions or poisoning groundwater miles away. Darvaza is an engineering problem with no easy solution, a human error that became a permanent geological phenomenon, and one of the most dangerous and fascinating places in our Dead Zones catalog. Standing on the edge of the Darvaza crater, is an experience that alters the senses and directly confronts the human survival instinct. The sound is not that of a common campfire, but a continuous and deafening roar, caused by the violent pressure of methane gas, escaping from deep fissures and bursting into instant combustion upon touching oxygen. The surrounding air is heavy, thick with the metallic scent of sulfur, and a dry heat, so intense, it burns the throat before you even reach the crater's crest. It is a raw demonstration of thermodynamic energy, where the ground has literally turned into an industrial burner on a planetary scale. At night, the perspective shifts from a geological disaster to something bordering on visual mysticism. The Karakum Desert, known for its absolute darkness and temperatures that plummet after sunset, is suddenly interrupted by a dome of orange light that can be seen from over 40 kilometers away. For those observing from a distance, it looks as if the Earth's crust itself has suffered an incandescent rupture. Up close, the flames dancing at the bottom of the abyss cast giant shadows on the collapsed limestone walls, evoking images that for centuries populated the human imagination regarding the end of the world. There is no vegetation, no visible life, and the horizon is devoured by a glow that never wavers. But the scientists and explorers who use thermal protection suits to get near the edges, Darvaza is a physical reminder of our insignificance before the forces we unleash. It isn't just an industrial accident from 1971. It is a system that sustains itself through a complex network of natural tunnels and gas pockets, stretching for miles beneath the surface. The irony lies in the fact that while the world desperately seeks new sources of clean energy, this portal burns tons of fossil fuel every hour, releasing carbon into the atmosphere with no practical use other than serving as a burning sentinel of an error that humanity prefers to observe from a safe distance. The true importance of Darvaza for modern science goes far beyond its visual impact. It lies in what extreme heat can teach us about the resilience of life. By analyzing the bacteria found at the bottom of the crater, NASA astrobiologists began drawing parallels between Turkmenistan and environments on other planets, such as Venus or Jupiter's moons. If microorganisms can thrive and reproduce in soil burning at 400 degrees Celsius, feeding purely on methane, our definition of the habitable zone in the universe must be completely rewritten. The gate to hell ceases to be just a Soviet disaster and becomes a planetary simulator, a natural laboratory where we test the limits of biology under conditions that would destroy almost any other known life form. However, this scientific exploration goes hand in hand with an engineering challenge that borders on the impossible. For decades, the local government has consulted international experts to try and seal the crater, but the geology of the Karakum Desert is treacherous. Because the ground is composed of porous limestone layers, any attempt to smother the flames with dirt or concrete could cause a catastrophic buildup of internal gas pressure, resulting in secondary explosions or forcing methane to escape through invisible cracks, contaminating groundwater miles away. Darvaza is therefore a thermodynamic trap. We are facing a fire we cannot extinguish without the risk of causing something even worse, proving that it is much easier to awaken the forces of the underground than to contain them once the portal has been opened. Looking at the gate to hell makes me think about how small we are compared to the forces we try to control. The final irony of Darvaza is that although it represents an environmental disaster and a massive waste of energy, it has become a place of pilgrimage for those seeking to feel the raw pulse of the earth. There is something deeply human about wanting to look into the abyss, about wanting to feel the heat of a fire that shouldn't exist. The government may try to close it, science may try to explain it, but the crater remains there, roaring every night under the desert stars, as if it were telling us a story about the consequences of our actions. It is a sanctuary of fire that forces us to confront the reality that not everything we open, we have the power to close. But now, I want to step away from the science and hear your intuition. If you were standing before this crater today, would you feel fear or a strange form of admiration? Do you believe we should let it burn as a warning for future generations, or should the effort to extinguish it be a priority, no matter the cost? I read every reflection you leave here, as it is this exchange that makes Dead Zones more than just a channel of facts. If you felt that this journey through the Karakum Desert expanded your vision today, consider becoming part of our community by clicking the button below. It's not just a follow, it's your guaranteed spot on the next expedition to the places the rest of the world prefers to forget. Until the next frontier,